I started a brand new account in Marvel Strike Force, and so did Run 7. How's it going today, Run?
Super. Maybe a little bit better for me than for you, huh?
Yeah, and I'm just getting straight up. I'm having a terrible experience. Like, this is not good, and we're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about the pros and cons. So this is not meant to be like a top 10 players tip, which was the primary thing that I wanted to do. You started your account a couple days before me, and then I started it like, I don't know, Wednesday of last week, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to delete this account. I'm not going to play anymore. Like, because of the bad experience I'm going to have. Let's talk about the good, and then we'll talk about the bad, and then we'll talk about the ugly. So, what was your new player experience like? What was it for you? How would you say this went for you? What would you were expecting? Talk about the counts are not boosted or all of them are boosted now. Just talk about our expectations going into this.
Well, I came in not really knowing how it was going to feel to progress through the commander levels. That was always up in the air, right? It was a boosted account before, and then they redid everything. And so we waited until they were all supposed to be the same and jump into this, and I wanted to see how fast I can progress. I was planning on trying to make it to like commander level 90 with this account to try and get the full feel for it. But as like other game modes come out into the game, I would probably drop this account for time constraints. But basically, I just want to see how fast I get through this, what's available along the way, and have a perspective of what a new player would feel like. Now, of course, we're endgame players coming back into this, already understanding the ins and outs of this game, and so we can kind of speed through some stuff, and boy, did I ever. I blew through. I'm now at commander level 43, and I could probably be at commander level 47, maybe even 50, had I really gotten sweaty with it. But I took a much more relaxed approach. I just highlighted the characters that I knew were either cutting edge meta or coming into the meta, and I've avoided all the characters that are not in the meta or falling out of the meta. And what you are showing on your screen is exactly what I'm running with. These are some great tunes that they gave me early access to. And my earliest thing that I noticed was that I was leveling up so fast, I would actually level up without seemingly playing the game. Like just going through and doing, I'd click on like one thing and it would say, oh, congratulations, you leveled up. And before I could even go spend energy, I would level up again. And it was really rapid in the very beginning.
Okay, so the coolest thing for me was that on day one, you can get to like I got to like 23 on the first day. Best thing was that I could unlock Doc Ock on day one. And then there's a bunch of legendaries. Like there's a whole bunch of legendaries, and some of them probably feel better than others. But for me, the only one that was relevant and useful was Doc Ock. Day one, right? The second best thing was that you get Gambit right out of the gate. There's a ton of codes that work, and I'm going to show all the codes that worked. And I was able to use every single one of these codes when I logged onto the website. So I created a Scopely ID, got some bonuses for Scopely ID, and then and then went through all the codes. Now I had to wait about a minute between them, like it would hang, right? I couldn't just put them in.
It even tells you wait 120 seconds before trying. Yeah.
So like at this right here, basic, and night doesn't work until you're level 60. But these codes right here basically jump started my account, where the only bottleneck that I was having was running out of energy, right? And then the day is pretty much over when I would spend the hundreds, I would do the 50s and then the hundreds, and then I would stop. But I had like a lot of power cores, a lot of training materials, a lot of gold. The only thing that I was not having was ability materials. And that is like the only bottleneck that I was personally experiencing once I plugged in all the codes. And I just tell you, you can play the game a lot. I think the first day that I got the game, I could play or start playing the game, which was Wednesday. I could play it for like 5-6 hours. I felt like I was doing things. I was going into events and they were challenging and I have to re-roll them. And then I was like upgrading the characters. But the problem was ability materials, just ability materials. And I'm okay with that. I mean, the game is kind of bottlenecked. So it's just like, okay, focus fire on ability materials, get ability materials, because everything else seemed pretty easy to get. I think that for me was the good, and the bad was the ability materials. What was your experience with like the economy and bottlenecks?
The economy seemed really well panned out, at least up until level 40. I can't really speak past because I'm level 43. I had the same experience as you. It was the ability materials, specifically blue ability materials, and I've already messaged them in the server and said, hey, this wasn't cool. So you really need a heroes team and a villains team for sure. Like that's your number one thing to get through heroes and villains and push those nodes as far as you can. And so I feel like we should have enough ability materials for 10 characters, and I'm having trouble building 10 characters.
Yeah,
I think that's not cool. Now, if they only want to give us enough for 10, and then everything else is kind of luxury for what you want to do as a player, okay, that's all right, I guess. But I don't have enough for the 10 just to move through the game.
Yeah, and so I pretty much have only putting ability materials on my arena team. That's it. I have enough for 5 characters, and and I'm running what's there on the top. I don't know if that's the best, but that's the best of what I had.
Well, therein lies a big problem for you, right? Because I don't feel I need to put anything on my arena team because I'm sitting pretty at 700, but you have something else going on, don't you?
Okay, so the good is the game feels good. You can play a lot. You use all the promo codes. You get a lot of good stuff. The only real bottleneck that I'm personally experiencing is ability materials. And I feel like if I was just starting Marvel Strike Force, there's a lot to do. It feels intuitive, and I could play the game, for I think the first day you could play 5-6 hours. Second day maybe like 3 hours. After that it's 2 hours. Maybe it's like 1 hour. Then it's like 30 minutes. I mean, it tapers you down a little bit, right? But you can play a lot if you want to, right? You could just play a ton, and that was the good. Now here is the bad, and this is garbage, and I feel like I've wasted my time doing this because I wanted a authentic new player experience that was not clouded with boosted accounts. I wanted just like a normal experience where I can play sweaty and play super efficient and do better than other people because I know what I'm going to do, and I can make guides on how to play the game as efficiently as possible. I wanted to min-max this account. So here's the problem, and I'm going to delete this account because this is absolutely garbage. So my player ID, we're just going to look at the first 4 digits, 108.2, 108.2, if you will. And you started, 3 days, 2 days before me, right? What would you say? How many days before?
Yeah, I started 2 days. I think I started on Monday and you started on Wednesday.
So 108.
And I'm 108.1.
108.1, and I am 108.2. Now I'm going to show... when you got dropped into the arena, you were dropped in at 700.
800. I started at 800 and I've egregiously worked my way up to 700.
Yeah. Okay. So the point is this, that arena shards are usually 10,000 players, and it's based on when you started the game. So you get dropped into arena shard, and you said you dropped in and you were about 700. Now you went to the top of your arena shard, and you can see there's Irish Rage, 108.1, 1.7 collection power. So he spent some money. He may have bought some of the time heist, whatever, right? Like this guy spent a little bit of money. And
he's actually newer to the game than my account is a little bit. So they spent a little bit of money getting that, like Black Knight.
Reasonable experience, right? You would expect that there's going to be a handful of people at the top of your shard that are willing to spend a lot of money, and they're going to get ahead. And that, what's your collection? Your collection power right now is
84,000.
84,000. So yeah, somebody might have a 1.7, right? This is reasonable expectation. You looked at, like, this guy's number 2 in your arena shard, 108.0, right? 321,000 collection power. All right, fine.
Probably bought one of the time heist bundles or something, maybe to spring ahead. Having Black Knight in your arena shard when nobody else does, you're gonna skyrocket to the top.
Okay, so this is my account. I have a collection power of 165,000, right? And I have 108.2, right? So what should my arena shard look like? I should be in a shard of people that started around the same time with me. No! This is my arena shard. 10 million players. Look at the number. All the numbers we were looking at before were like 108.2, 107. There's like 106.7. There are people that have played the game for months in my arena shard, and I got dumped in at 8,000. I am stuck in an old shard. What is going on? I have to delete this account. So is that the whole thing now? Is like players play, don't spend any money, play, and find out if you get dumped into an old, well, you go into arena, you get dumped into the arena at like level 20, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And that happens on the first day, but that takes like hours, like 3-4 hours to find out. And then you pop in and go and see who's at number 1. And if you're in an old shard, delete the count, start over. What is going on?
You know, before we had to see if we had a boosted account and go to commander level, I think it was like 14 before you started noticing the experience boost. And then you would decide whether you want to re-roll your account. Now you got to go to commander level 20 to see what arena shard you got dropped into and decide if you want to re-roll your account. And remember, you got to go through the tutorial no matter what. And that's just makes you, I'm just pulling teeth going through that tutorial.
Yeah, and I don't know if I just got dumped into an old shard and get screwed. See, the point is I wanted to play against other players that didn't have boosted accounts. We all start at the same time. I'm literally playing against people that potentially had boosted accounts that started months before me. This is the opposite of what I wanted to do.
How is it that you start 2 days after me and you're placed into an older arena shard? You should have come in somewhere around 800, maybe 900, and we should be in the same arena shard, the way I see it. And instead, you come in at 8,000 plus, and in this month-old shard, 2-month-old shard, because we saw people from Dorky Dad's account in there, or his alliance, right?
Yeah, so this looks...
And that's like 2.5 months old.
Yeah, this looks like Boylon's, he made an alliance, right? When he started new. So we got people in Boylon's alliance, we got people in Dorky Dad's. These people have all been playing they've been playing the game for months. For months. I don't know.
Oh, you've wasted 15 hours of your life on this account, because if you want a clean experience, it ain't on this account. You're going to have to re-roll it.
Yeah, so this is my thing. If you are looking to start a new account, and I'm not talking about new people coming to the game, I'm talking about veteran players, like play the game, get into the arena, and then look at who's at the top of your arena. And if it looks reasonable, and keep in mind, some people will spend money, and they might have a 1 million, 2 million, 3 million TCP. I don't know. I kind of understand that, right? Somebody is going to spend a lot of money.
Not 10
but
million.
not 10 million. Not 10 million. And, if you log in and after you get to level 20, I wouldn't keep that account until you know if you got dumped into an old shard or a new shard. It feels like a huge waste of time otherwise. And I don't know. It's annoying, right? I mean, I know people are going to spend money, but I can't make up for a free-to-play player that's been playing for months. I'm not competitive with that person. That's who I want to be competitive with. I want to be competitive with other people not spending money. There's always going to be somebody that spends more money than you. You got to get over that real quick. This is a pay-to-win game, right? So, Scopely, this is trash. I'm going to send them this video and let them know that this was a terrible experience for me, and that's that. Hopefully they fix it. Maybe they'll respond, maybe they won't. I don't know. They've always not wanted to talk about arena shards and how many people. We kind of had to guess the number. All right, what do you suggest to me? Just delete my account and never start over? I don't know.
Absolutely delete your account. I think you should go ahead and start a new one today. See where you get. See if it gets you into a new arena shard that you forgot. Hopefully you get in my arena shard. That'd be nice. I was always jealous of Cleaning Agent getting to battle you on your primary account. So yes, definitely re-roll, and then hopefully Scopely will address this issue, because this was out of left field. I never expected something like this to happen. I thought we were done with having to re-roll accounts. And then also, I hope that they add a little bit more ability materials into the game, because that feels a little frustrating when I can't just take my team of 10. Because and like ability level 3 and 2, you don't do anything. There's no controlling the match. It's just hitting a little harder is all. So I would like to get in there. But for newer players who are jumping in, check your arena, see where you're at, make a decision. And then also, as you start playing the game in the beginning, just know that as you progress, new and better things unlock. Sliders unlock, sim buttons unlock, all sorts of things unlock, and the game just progressively gets better as you play. And if you feel like 5 hours a day is too much, don't worry, that tapers off real fast.
Yep. All right. So check out Run 7's channel. You've got a beginner account. I've got a beginner account. If you are a new player and you want to see what we're doing, follow us both because we're going to be making beginner guides. This is not it. This is just that it's trash. That's it. All right. Bye for now.